looking at a clone question from Nanyang Primary, P6 Prelim paper in 2020, question number 13 of paper 2. Let's take a look at part A. The first statement states that the total number of students in 6H can be divided equally into 5 groups with no students left over. So this implies that the total number of students in 6H is a multiple of 5. Now in the second statement, it states that the total number of students in 6H can also be divided equally into 3 groups with no students left over. So it also means that the total number of students will be a multiple of 3. Now since the total number of students in 6H is a multiple of 5 and also a multiple of 3, we can find out the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5. And to do so, you can use our strategy of L size. And after using your L size strategy, you can get the lowest common multiple to be 15. Now, once we know that the lowest common multiple is 15, we can list out the possible number of students in 6H, which are 15, 30, 45, and so on. Now, let's take a look at this important information given here. The total number of pupils in each class is fewer than 40. So that will mean that 45 and above is not a possible answer because the number of students must be fewer than 40. So we have two answers here, two possible answers, which is 15 and 30. Now, let's take a look at the next information that we are given. There are 3 boys in 6H who do not walk to school. Now, let's represent this in the table. Do not walk to school. And for the boys, there are 3 of them. We don't know how many girls do not walk to school, so we're going to put that as question mark. Now, if we were to find the sum of these 3 values that we are given, you will get the sum to be 16. Now, since the sum of these 3 numbers before you even add the girls is already 16, that will mean that 15 is not a possible answer. 15 cannot be the total number of students in 6H. So the only possibility that we have is 30. So 30 is the number of students in 6H. Now, once we know that, we can use 30 to take away 16. And that leaves us with 14. 14 will be the number of girls who do not walk to school. So the answer for part A is 14 girls who do not walk to school. Now let's take a look at part B. Let's clean this up so that we can write better. Okay, for part B, it says the total number of boys in 6K is 5 out of 11 of the total number of students in 6K. So this 5 units here refers to the total number of boys in 6K. We can represent that. Boys in 6K to the total in 6K is 5 is to 11. The 11 refers to the total number of students in 6K. Now, since we know that 11 units is the total number of students, this will mean that the total number of students in 6K is a multiple of 11. Now, once we know that the total number of students in 6K is a multiple of 11, we can list out the possible numbers, which are 11, 22, 33, 44, and so on. And note the same thing, the total number of students in each class must be fewer than 40. So that will mean that 44 and above is not correct. So we have these 3 possibilities. Now, we're going to do one more elimination over here. Since we know that in 6K, the boys who walk to school is already 12. So that will mean that 11 is not possible because 11 is actually lesser than the number of boys who walk to school. So now we have 2 possibilities left, which are 22 and 33. So what we can do now is we can try to solve that, and then we can see which answer works. For 11 units is 22. Let's try out for 22 first. We'll find out that 1 unit is 2. And then we know that the number of boys is 5, so we can go ahead and find 5 units. That makes 10. And note that this 10 refers to the total boys in 6K. And again, this is not possible because, the number of students who walk to school is already 12, which is more than 10. So the total number of boys can't be just 10. So that's why 22 is not a possible answer. Now let's try and check for 33. So we have 11 units to be 33, and 1 unit will be 3. And so if you find the 5 units, that will give us 15. And 15 is the total boys. So now let's look at part B. The total number of boys in 6K is 5 out of 11 of the total number of students in 6K. So that will mean that the 5 units here refers to the total number of boys in 6K, and 11 units here refers to the total number of students. So let's represent that with a ratio. So boys in 6K to total number of students in 6K is 5:11. Now, since we know the total number of students in 6K is 11 units, this is trying to tell us that the total number of students is a multiple of 11. So let's list out the possible numbers that we have for the total number of students in 6K. That will be 11, 22, 33, 44, and so on. So bear in mind the information that I've mentioned earlier. The total number of students in each class is fewer than 40. So that's why 44 and above cannot be the correct answer. So we are left with 3 possibilities, 11, 22, and 33. We're going to do one more elimination here. Let's look at this information. There are 12 boys in 6K that walk to school. Now, since the number of boys that walk to school is already 12, so 11 cannot be the total number of students in 6K. So we are left with 2 possibilities here, 22 and 33. So let's work it out to see which one is the correct answer. So let's try for 22 first. So 11 units. If it's 11 units is 22, we'll know that 1 unit gives us 2. And because we know that there are 5 units for the boys, we can find out that 5 units give us 10. So that means that there are 10 boys altogether in 6K. So this 10 boys here refers to the boys who walk to school plus the boys that do not walk to school. So that actually can't be 10 because 10 is actually lesser than 12. So that's why 22 cannot be a possible answer. Now let's try for 33. So 11 units is 33 and 1 unit will give us 3. And so if we were to find 5 units for the boys, that will give us 15. And again, this 15 represents the total number of boys in 6K, which is the 12 plus the question mark, which is possible. So based on this, we can actually find the number of boys who do not walk to school over here, which is the question mark over here, by using 15 to take away the 12, and that gives us 3. So this 3 is the number of boys who do not walk to school in 6K.